Right, welcome back to the Late Night Gamer and the second age of the Antiquities. I need to start with a correction. I said during the first episode that stability wasn't too important in a single player game. Turns out that that's not really accurate. If during scoring you end up with more stability than the shadow player, you will gain a victory point. So that means that I should have gained an additional victory point after the first round. If you end below the shadow player, you will lose a victory point. The shadow player. Just bear in mind when you watch the episode that I wasn't aware that you will actually need to be above the shadow player to score victory points. So that's a big point. So remember that when you play. Keep an eye on stability and make sure that you have more stability than the shadow player. We move the round marker, we refill the progress board, and we are going into the growth phase where we decide which kind of goods or worker, or which kind of goods we want, or if we want another worker. So let's have a look. Yeah, first things first, let's take care of the mundane task of moving this round marker into HB of the Antiquities. The next step is filling the board, the progress board. So the 1 and 2 cost cards goes away. This is actually nice. It gives me the opportunity to show what happens when you have cards left. Often the shadow player is buying all the cards. But the 3 cost value card comes down and becomes a 1 value card. So no gold is really cheap and very tempting if I had 7 military might, which I don't. Let's refill the board. Here we have a war. This is the War of Alexander. And you can see the black border around the card. It looks, well, there's no doubt it's a war. Another war. This is a more, the Peloponnesian War. The last cheap card is the Odyssey. Oh my. And a wonder, we see our first wonder, the Hanging Gardens. So these are the last cards we will see from the first age. And you can see that there is quite a lot of cards left that we won't see in this game. So the variability here is quite good actually. Now it's the growth phase. We need to find out what we want to do this turn. And we probably want to buy stuff, right? And we are probably want to produce food. So is there something that can help us produce food? No. Yeah, well, there's a brewery, 2 food and 1 book. But we already have the aqueduct, which is 2 food and a stability. Well, actually 2 food and a book is better than 2 food and a stability. Is it? I don't know. It may be. It's difficult to say. Yep, the battle is nice because it gives me 3 resources. I didn't get the last battle. But now. So I would like to build some wonders. Perhaps this hanging garden is something I could build. You can see that in order to build it I would need 2 architects. The first architect costs 1 stone and the second architect costs, was it 2 stone? Yeah. And once it is complete, the Hanging Gardens, I will get 1 victory point. But I will also get 2 food every round. It will cost me a stone every round to maintain it. And it will increase my stability, so people like the Hanging Gardens, but for some reason it requires stone. The other wonder is the Colosseum, and 2 architects, it costs 1 more stone in total, gives me some military might, but I have to pay immediate 2 food when it's ready. I don't have too much food though, so that's a problem. I would need more food. This round I'm going to take a worker. And I'm taking it from this side, and that cost me immediately 3 stability. Because if I choose to take it from this side, I have to pay 3 food every round. And I'm not sure I want to do that. Well, I'm pretty sure that I don't want to do that. So I'm not taking it from this side. I'm taking it from the stability side. So I grab another worker, putting him in my pool, and it hits me for 3 stability. You will notice that between rounds we don't remove the workers from the cards. So they stay there as long as we want. And it means basically that I can't afford to remove workers that produce stability, because then I will go negative stability. I'm already 3 down from this guy that I took, but that's fine. I'm not planning to do that. I'm planning to get food. We will have to do the event phase and the architect placement, which in a solitary game is that I will reveal a new tile. Oh. Okay, that's an interesting tile. Let's go through it. Well, first of all, we'll remove this architect from the last round. As we can see here now, the military might of the shadow player is 6. He has only 1 stability this round, and there will be a famine of 1 food at the end of the round. Only 1 architect comes out. That makes this wonder thing not so interesting. And he will gain 2 books. He will gain more books on a roll of 6. If he rolls 5, he will actually lose military. So let's implement that. We reset both the stability and the military might of the shadow player. So he will have 1 stability and 6 military might. He will now be first player if this situation is maintained throughout the round. He will gain 2 books. These are cumulative, so he is now up in 5 books. And only 1 lousy architect. Well, the architect is not lousy, but the number is lousy. Only 1 architect comes out. Worker placement placing. Now it gets more interesting, no? Now we know more what is going on. We know that I have only 1 food, and this will go into famine. We also know that I will produce 2 food and use 1 food for the military, so I'm good on food. Yeah, I want to try to conquer Gaul. So 7 military might is my requirement. If you remember from the scoring track, I only have 5, and you can always recount and see if that's correct. 3 from the legendary and 2 from a special ability. That's 5. Military might and stability can always be calculated when just by looking on your board. So I'm placing my dude, my legionary dude, here. Well, he's not a legionary until he goes on the legionary space, so I'm paying 1 stone to place him in the legionary spot, and that means that I have to roll for the shadow player. He gets 3. The shadow player buys row 3, and in row 3 there are 2 wars. He will start a war, and he will start the cheapest war, the Peloponnesian War. Oh, I wish I had started the other one, because I can pronounce that. Yep, the Peloponnesian War was from 431 to 404 BC. And it was Sparta versus the Athens. Yeah. So this war is now started. I got the mine and the Punic Wars as well, they are out of the game. And we take the Peloponnesian War and put it in the war space. And the reason it's put there is because that we can only have one war per turn. And the military might of the war equals the military might of the guy who started the war, which in this case is the shadow player. So we'll put that big black marker on 6. And we'll put his green shadow player marker on top of that, because his military might is 6. Now I'm below that. So if this is also the case by the end of the turn, I will have lost the war. I will need to meet the requirements of the war in order to sort of not win it, but withstand the pressure from the war, from, yeah, more like that, I think. It's not a direct conflict with me. If I fail the war, first of all I would lose 1 victory point, as we can see here, but I will also lose 4 culture. If I'm below the war military might, instead of giving up 4 books, I could give up stability instead. So for every point of stability, or actually I won't give up stability, but for every point of stability that I have, I will negate one of the loss from the war. So if I had 1 stability, I will only pay 3 books, but I will still lose the victory point. So the wars are not very dramatic in this game, which I guess some like and some don't like. I would not mind if it were more dramatic, but I forgot when I placed the legionary, I will go up 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm actually not on 5, I'm on 8. So I'm in a good position for the war. Looking back here on the board, I am now in a position to pay a gold to conquer Gaul, because I do have more than 7 military might. So I'll do that. I will conquer Gaul. Gaul goes into my other empty spot, empty colony spot. So that's it for colonies. I can't have any more colonies, but I can replace the ones I have later in the game. I probably will, because my colonies now are not giving me any victory points. But I will gain some food from Gaul. They will ship it to Rome, which is good. I like that. So having bought a card, I need to roll the die. And now I get a 6. Oh, what was that? Let's have a look at that tile. On a 6 he will gain 2 culture. Oh man, okay. Right. So he's really in the lead on culture. Apparently the Shadow Nation is a very culture-rich nation, and the reason I'm not too happy about him taking the lead is that by the end of this round you will actually do a specific scoring on culture, so the one that leads will get a victory point. In this case, of course, he won't get a victory point. You don't count the victory points for the Shadow player, but I would lose it, so I would like to be in front so I can get that victory point. Well, it's very far up to 7, so I'm not sure if I can do that. Let's see, should I do anything else? Yeah, I don't know. Should I do anything else? What can I do? Well, all my workers are placed from the previous round, and I think they are in a good spot. I could actually fire my guys. I could just take them out there and say that you guys are no longer needed as legionaries, so they go into the pool. It will bring me down, of course, in military might, but I would not have to pay food for them. So that's nice, but that means that I will drop below the Shadow player in military might, and he will be first player next round. It means that he rolls the dice before I go. I don't want that. I would keep my legionaries for the cost of 2 food. And of course I could fire people from any space, you know. Take them out of the game. No, sorry, not out of the game, but take them off the board. I would lose those income, and if I place them again, I would have to repay the value of the card I'm placing them on. I need to start thinking about victory points. Okay, I'm going to buy another card. I'm going to use one of my coins, and I'm buying the Odyssey for 1 gold and take the books. Okay, so 2 books. You see, I'm trying to catch up with him, and if I can do that I will get a victory point, and being in front is actually worth 4 victory points throughout the entire game, so I'll try to do that. Just to use some resources now to gain some, close some of the gap in culture. Let's see what the AI player do. 5. 5, what is that? 5, 5, 5. 5 is -1 military might. Dude, he bought a war at the strength of 6, and now he is down to 5, so he's losing the war. Well, it doesn't matter because he's a Shadow player, but still, it's kind of stupid. Then I'll spend 2 more bucks, and I'm buying this card here, which costs 2, and it gives me 2 more books, the I need. So I'm catching up. Kind of stupid though. I just forfeited 2 victory points in order to gain 1 victory point. But this is just this round. Now I need to make sure that I'm stay ahead for every round. So again we'll see the magic die roll. That's a 5er. That's the same thing, right? Yeah, it is. Funny, funny, funny. He's down on another military might point. Well, now 1, 2, 3. Now I can almost afford to sack a military guy. No, but then I will lose the war. Okay, so that's not worth it. Still trailing 1 behind. I will produce 1 culture during production, but that's not enough to overcome him. Let's see if I can do something else. So I can always spend money now to buy this one, and thereby getting another culture, or actually 3 more culture, which is nice. It means I will pay $2. I only have one left now, and I will buy Crossing of the Alps. My raid value, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a small number 3 there. I can't lift it up because it's printed on the board, but it's a small G value, and this card here says that paying the price I get the raid value in either books, food or stone, and I will take it in culture or in books. It should be culture, I guess. Culture? I'll try to say culture from now on. I will take it in culture. 3 culture to me. That's hooray, hooray. I'm passing the shadow. Fantastic. I'm in the lead. Shadow die. Let's see. He gets a 3. He had that already, so there is no card in the 3 spot. Yeah, so that's it. I don't think I want to do anything else. I only have 1 coin left, so I can't buy anything. I can't place any workers. So that's it. I'm passing. I am stopping around, and we will do scoring. Remember how it goes? But it says gold, corn, stone and books. Culture, sorry. Gold first. 2 from Nubia. A good trusty Nubia is producing me money. And I have a guy in the synagogue, and that gives me money. So that is 4 coins. Food next, is it? Yep, food next. So I have calculated this now that I should be 0. No food needed here. No. Oh, actually I have gold. I forgot that. Gold, good old gold, gives me 2 food. That's great. And the guy in Aqueduct, he gives me 2 more food, so that's 4 food. And the legionary, my military, is eating 2 food only in total, so that should be 2 in surplus. Great. Oh, I forgot about that. That was a nice surprise. Fantastic. Yep. Roman legionaries. Good, good. Stone then. 4 stone here in the city walls. And that's it. Yep, that's it. 4 stones. I have quite a lot of stones. And culture, I will get 1 culture from the synagogue. Takes me up to 10. The next thing we do is player order. And I am leading in military might, so I will stay first player. We then resolve the war. The war has a strength of 6, and I am above strength of 6, so I'm good. We reset the war for the next round. Then we do events. There's no events, but we do famine. And this round, famine is 1, and I have, thanks to gold, well, yeah, I also had 1 in my storage, but I get, thanks to gold, I have enough food, so I can pay off that quite easily. Then we score for culture, because we are in between ages. And there's also a reminder right here. So now we are in B, and we are scoring now for culture victory points. It basically says that you will get the number of victory points equal to the number of players behind you on the track. And I have 1 player behind me, so I am taking a victory point. Good. Excellent. And that's it. We are finished with scoring. I'm not sure how good it looks or how bad it looks, but the brewery and the Wars of Alexander is out. See you soon in the Middle Ages.